Hello, boys and girls. It is the 17th of March, and we have returned to our previous format of videos while dog walking. My doggy, his name is Hole Muncher. No, actually, not Hole Muncher, Hole Muncher. No, actually, his name is Drago, which means dragocenne, which means precious. 40 kilograms of precious. Dear friends, are you worried about what's going on the American market? Are you paying attention to the death spiral that the American debt has taken on? Every 4 months, $1 trillion gets added to the debt. And as we know, that 4 months is now turning to 3 months. And it will turn to 2 months, and it will turn to every month. It's called hyperinflation. If you're paying attention, you should be worried about that your hard-earned money, the treasures that you've stored up, the inheritance that you may be getting from your parents or have gotten from previous generations is all going to be destroyed. Now, gold is always the bulwark against such inflation. But if you think about holding that gold in the United States, you're going down the wrong path. Let us remember 1932, 1933, when a G-man stood in every bank ready to take that gold away and give worthless money, worthless paper money. It happened once, it will happen again. That's why you should come visit the site of my friends at Exit Strategy World. They're going to help you find that safe harbor, that place that you can put away that gold in a jurisdiction that greedy politicians and spendthrifts can't reach. They're going to help you find that strategy, and they'll help you get that ever vital second passport. Because without a second lifeline, you're a prisoner in whatever nation you happen to be in, and you are a prisoner at the whim of any politician that comes to power. You should always have that exit strategy. The exit strategy globally, the world. So come visit our friends at exitstrategy.world.
Gold, the currency of kings. A safe harbor in times of war and fiat currency mass destruction. At exitstrategy.world, our team can help you vault gold in the safest offshore jurisdictions for citizens of the Eurasian Economic Union nations, including in Dubai and Hong Kong. Exitstrategy.world. Create your own free world.
So, as we walk, and it's finally warm, mini winter 2.0 has finally left. And that was the first 2 weeks of May. So the last 2 weeks of April was like plus 22, and then mini winter 2.0 came in with snow and ice. Yeah, went right back to snow and ice. All the greenery was covered in ice and snow. That sucked. That's all part of that global warming Greta the Goblin threatens everybody with. So, first, sorry, gotta ask, please tickle that little like button and subscribe if you haven't subscribed, because I'm pretty sure YouTube is shadow banning me. So unless you're subscribed, you're definitely not gonna see content all that often, even though I'm putting it out. That's how YouTube deals with non-traditional to their liking views. That is, you don't agree with the U.S. government and whatever the hell the Western elite decides for you. So, going further, today we're going to cover the topic of Robert Fico. I'm sure everybody already heard about the assassination attempt. I won't say he's so much pro-Russian, but his position makes him pro-Russian. And his position is pro-Slovakia. He is an elected official, the president of Slovakia. He's elected. The people elected him. But as the Western liberal world understands elections, if we don't get what we want, we'll just keep doing elections. And we still don't get what we want, we'll just kill the people that we don't like. Assassination, for those who don't understand, don't know, or are willingly blind, is a great Anglo-Saxon tradition. And America is neck deep in the blood of foreigners that it's been murdering off very actively. No matter what little tales the U.S. government tells you about democracy and freedom and elections, it's all crap for the low information voter. Anybody with half a brain cell understands the U.S. government is a tyrannic institution that murders anybody it can't control. So there's a few things if you really want to consider and you want to educate yourself. Go look up Operation Gladio. I've mentioned it several times. Operation Gladio, Gladio being the short sword that the Romans used, was the operation from 1948 to supposedly 1991, though I think in some areas it's still going. Well, the U.S. government set up CIA-trained paramilitary cells, secret cells, made out of law enforcement, military people of various countries all over Europe. So NATO allies and neutral countries included, to officially be stay-behind armies. So Soviet Union comes in, conquers the country, and these guys set up paramilitary partisan brigades. That's the excuse. The reality is of course, they were tools of the CIA. And often they were used as terrorist organizations against their own governments. They conducted assassinations throughout Europe of people that were on the left. And not only on the left, they helped mutinous officers try to assassinate and murder de Gaulle in France and his family, for which de Gaulle paid him back very severely. He had them wiped out, and he exited NATO in revenge. And that was all because de Gaulle wanted to get out of Algeria. The regime of the colonels was brought into power by these same organizations. The Grey Wolves terrorist organization, ultranationalist terrorist organization in Turkey. Assassination, murders up and down the Italian peninsula. Assassinations in Belgium. Murders of left politicians or left liberal politicians, because liberal back then was a bit different than today, in Spain. Even though the Spanish government was very active in participating with the Spanish government of Franco. Operation Condor. Operation Condor took effect and did basically the same thing and worked parallel with Gladio in Latin America. Murder of officials, death squads, and so on. All democratic values, of course. Well, they really are democratic values, because you don't listen to what they say, judge by their actions. And their actions are very bloody. So now you got Robert Facci, Fosco, yeah, there's the mass murder of Facci, but that's an American issue. So, the president of Slovakia. There's one thing they tolerated Orban, but now you got Slovakia that's on the same side, and you've got populist movements up and down Europe. They're looking to stop the insanity of the Western elites and the Western financial elites. So they attempted to assassinate the president of Slovakia. And if you look at his bodyguards, they're not exactly being very proactive in the video. And the assassination's carried out by a 71-year-old liberal. Oh yes, liberals murder people. Yeah, they actually do that all the damn time. They enjoy doing that because they're a maximalist. Theocracy minus God, and really mostly servants of the devil, whether they realize it or not. Absolutely maximalist to the core. You don't follow their wants or their leads or their enlightenment, you get whacked. First they'll try to convert you, and when that fails, because they can't out-argue you and they can't out-logic you, they'll almost always turn to violence. That is the liberal way. Violence, violence, violence. They enjoy violence. I've of course coded in all this self-righteous bullshit about how they're fighting for humanity and all the other crap, but they're not. It's just violence. They very, very much so enjoy it. So consider that, boys and girls. So, shall we see the same thing toward Orban? Yeah, he's gotten lots of threats. And the U.S. government would love nothing more to have him dead, along with anybody else. And this is a little message for the conservatives in America. first of all, if you're expecting any kind of a fair election with Trump, you're literally drinking the Kool-Aid of insanity. Nothing's changed. Nothing's changed from the stolen election in 2020. It's going to be the same thing. And when those people come in power, that second time, I'm talking about Biden and his crew, it's going to be over for most of you guys. You just got to realize that at this point. The tyranny is going to be set in full. And no Ritter, no McGregor, nobody's going to be tolerated. It'll be the end of that's free speech in that little era. And we're going to get the full-on police force. Yeah, the sun's very bright, thank God, on one side, but it does play havoc with the camera a bit. So anyways, that's what we've got right now. Parallel, for those who haven't heard, Germany is working on bringing back the draft, because apparently they can't get their military forces up high enough. But, clown world, if you may, the good thing is, since there's like 100 million genders, they're not gender specific, so they'll take anybody. So, whatever you identify with, you can still die on the Russian front for Greater Germany or Greater Schutz and his owners, whichever you wish to look at it. But you should be dying for Greater Germany because, that's really the cause. Never mind who sits behind the curtain. So Poland brought back the draft, activated 200,000 reservists, brought in a bunch of civilians activated, and they're active right now and prepping up. Germany is bringing back the draft. Do we see a pattern here? Yes, we do. Europe wants to die. Europe's going to genocide off its youth. And then, by the way, do you honestly think all those immigrants, all those Arabs or Africans that just came in are going to go running off to die for Mother Germany or Mother France? Unless they're in the French Foreign Legion, sure as hell not. And the vast 99.999% of them are not. So, well, they are going to enjoy the women that are left behind, at least the ones that aren't drafted by the Germans, to die off for the wet noodle, or I'm sorry, the wet sausage called Schultz. So, there we go. There's the insanity of the day. That's the growth of the insanity of the day. And what can we do? Well, on the Russian side, we're just getting ready for big war, because that's obvious enough that's coming. And the faster we're moving in Kharkiv, Zelensky, the man who, by the way, in 3 days is no longer the legitimate president of Ukraine, since he canceled elections. But don't worry, Blinken said, as soon as they return all the territory, the 91 borders, they'll have elections. Until then, he's our dictator. He's our guy. So don't worry about it. Everything will be good. That's how democracy works. Well, Zelensky came into Kharkiv to get his hands dirty and find out what and why and how, because his generals are failing him. And he looked and he saw and he made the great decision that only a coke-addled idiot could make. All they need is two batteries of Patriots, and Kharkiv will stand forever. It will be the corner fortress city. Something like, Königsberg is supposed to be, and a bunch of other cities that failed that. So, what happens? Germany is not giving up one of its Patriot systems, which are going to be armed with, manned by Germans. So, when that Patriot system gets hit, there'll be 60 to 90 German corpses all burned up. Oh well, the Germans like dying in Russia. It's their hobby, historically speaking. So, and they've been doing it since 1012 AD. So, some people never change. It must be genetic. Incredible it doesn't get weeded out, considering how many generations of Germans have gotten a chance to die off in Russia. But it is what it is. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining me. Will be more coming up, because the world keeps spinning and stupidity keeps breeding. And when we will be bringing you all the highlights of the stupids that seem to be running most of the West. If you'd like to sponsor me, Well, right now my account is in the description. I need to go open a Patriot account too, and buy me a coffee. I'll do that too. But if you want to sponsor me, I don't mind. I'll only thank you from the bottom of my heart. Okay, God bless.